7 to 8 games left. Pretty much. Uh, essentially,
Trey's good. Draymond Green's good.
he's good.
Fine.
Oh,
Oh,
thank God.
thank goodness.
Oh, thank God. But yeah, we were literally in crunch time now. 7 to 8 games left in the season. Uh, a lot of playoff positioning is kind of important now. The newfangled play-in tournament is now taking legitimate seriousness now because someone's started complaining about it recently. And to kind of talk, that's going to be our lead into it. Essentially,
We're terrible this year. That was the only win that mattered. If we can lose every other game, I don't care. That was the only win that mattered.
because literally, last night, for context, so the play-in tournament is pretty much after every team plays 72 games. The teams that are seventh to or that are ranked 7th through 10th in their respective conferences. So right now, if we look at the West, it's going to be Portland, Memphis, Golden State, and San Antonio, followed by in the East, Boston, Charlotte, Indiana, Washington. Um, those teams will play each other to make the final two spots, the 7 and 8 spot um, in the playoffs. So essentially, what happened was last night the Los Angeles Lakers, who've been kind of struggle busting their way through
Yeah,
the season.
Anthony Davis let Pascal Siakam spin his way to 39 points.
Yeah,
And just Pascal locked him down the entire game.
it's just sad. Like essentially, like the Lakers have been struggle busting, but they've kind of held it afloat. And it was assumed that with Anthony Davis and LeBron James returning, that they'd kind of they kind of just go on this huge run, kind of prove to the league like, oh yeah, we're okay. We don't have to worry about nothing. But here they are on the
Yet-
6th seed, tied for the 7th seed right now, actually. Um, and so why this is important is again the play-in tournament involves the 7th seed.
Actually, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I think the Portland Trailblazers have the tiebreaker over the Lakers.
They do not. They are currently tied 1-1. They play.
My mistake.
They play, I think, next week. Right
Yeah, we
now
could
though,
play next week.
so the Atlanta Hawks right now are in the lead against the Portland Trailblazers at the moment.
And
Portland-
Schroeder just went down, I think, as well.
Yes, Dennis Schroeder's out tonight. Mind you,
Presumably OG
He
was
will be
also out.
for the
So
next 1.5 to 2 weeks because
of COVID protocols.
no, you see what actually happened was OG was also out during the Lakers Raptors game. They were fighting each other.
Oh God,
in,
these thick
in the
narratives.
Lakers locker room.
Stop it. But
and,
yeah, so
OG won. OG won. That's why Dennis Schroeder's
hear
out
you.
for 2 weeks.
But anyway, like for all our viewers that are watching this on YouTube later on, we are recording this on Monday, May the 3rd at 6:30 Pacific, the West Coast, Best Coast time
tomorrow's
zone.
Star Wars Day.
Yes, sir.
May the 4th be with you.
Bad Batch coming
I
out.
like Star Wars.
Oh, that's true.
Bad Batch is
That's
coming
true.
out tomorrow. I'm gonna be there to watch it.
That's
Hope
true.
everyone else is there to watch it too. So, anyways,
That's
what were we
true.
saying?
But yeah, so now the Lakers, after losing Toronto last night, are on the verge of possibly being the play-in. And the quote heard around the world was LeBron clamoring for whoever decided the play-in turn was a good idea to be fired.
He said the play-in tournament was a good idea like 2 months ago.
Yes. But
Maybe
literally, yeah, he literally said it last year when the shutdown happened. And now he's against it because why? His team is on the verge of being the play-in tournament, possibly missing the playoffs.
And look, the Lakers are very formidable, but the Game 1 Lakers are terrible.
Like, and here's my thing though, like with it, like LeBron's argument for like the play-in tournament, not being to exist now is the same vein as when like Luca and Mark Cuban complained about it.
I think Luca was kind of tongue-in-cheek about it, though, to be fair to him. He was like, yeah, hello, I'm Luka Doncic. If we benefit from it, it is good.
No, like, here's the thing. It literally is like, if, they only complained about it because they're literally on the verge of having to play on it. Dallas at the time was literally the 7th seed and complained about it, right? Now the Lakers are the 6th seed and possibly on the verge of being the 7th seed and having to play in it, and now LeBron decides to complain about it. Like the arguments make no sense because of that, right? Like if you were the like if Dallas, I mean Dallas is the 5th seed now and is relatively safe, sorta.
Nobody's safe at the
But
like
like
bottom of the West.
but yeah, no, but like if the Lakers were like the 3 seed, you wouldn't see LeBron complaining about it, right? But now he is because why? They're the 7th seed. Or or a possible 7th seed. Like that's what it is. My opinion on the play-in is that like is it's working to its like intention of adding more drama and adding more meaning to the regular season. Because let's be real, during the regular season, like no one cares during the final month. Like
Yeah.
everyone's kind of locked into their seating. If you're out of the playoffs, you're tanking out the rest of the way,
Whereas
right?
now you're looking at like Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal and going, well, they could do
Yeah,
something.
like literally, like the Washington Wizards you know, have won like 8 out of their past 10 games and have been going on like this crazy run. Why? Because they have a shot at actually making the playoffs
Yeah.
because of this play-in tournament.
And they had let's face it, they had a horrible start to the season. And like,
100%.
it happens. This has been kind of the season from hell for like a lot of different teams. I don't want
It's
to
been
say
like
it's
that for every single team. I think you could argue.
Yeah.
There's
I think the different like I would say the Mavericks, for example, have had it worse than most other teams, or the Heat have had it worse than most other teams. But yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. You're right. Like,
I mean,
um,
Washington had it really bad because they had a whole outbreak to
exactly.
begin the season
Yeah, no, and
and
it
dealing with
completely
injuries.
destroyed their momentum, and it's like they're
Yeah.
bringing in
Same thing with
how
Boston.
yeah, and like look at like Abdia, he plays like 20 minutes, 25 minutes a game. How's he going to get acquainted if everyone's in
Yeah.
and but now that
Yeah.
everything's clicking there, it's kind of looking like a good team, and not like, well,
Yeah.
Eastern
But
Conference good. Okay?
yeah, like to put it this way though, like I I just feel like again like for people that are saying that there should be a cushion, yeah, maybe you can say there should be a cushion, but everyone's literally within 4 games of each other. Like that's how close, like that's how tight the playoff race is. And the fact that now we're like I mentioned earlier at the start of the broadcast that there are literally 10 or less games left. I think about 7 or 8 for each team. It is literally do or die, right? If you're the 5th seed, you can't coast anymore because why? If you have a losing streak like the Lakers have been, you're at risk of having to do this play-in tournament. In the case of the Wizards, if you keep winning, you have a chance of like you know playing up to the 9th seed and having home court advantage for a play-in game, right? Like it's working to its intention that it adds drama and it adds more viewers and it's going to add more viewers and it's going to add you know more meaningful games. It now has drawn more ratings to the regular season when everyone else would check out. No, every game matters now. And you definitely have to be, the NBA has to also be salivating at the fact that there might be a legitimate possibility that LeBron and Steph Curry are going to play against each other in the play-in tournament, right? So I for one like I'm a full support. Like it's not perfect, but I'm in full support of the play-in tournament because there's more pros than there are cons. That's how I view it. Like there's more pros than cons. Are there flaws? Yeah, 100%. But like I still, it should be a permanent thing moving forward. That's my thinking.
I think
Dom,
it would be. I
you're
think
yeah,
honestly, in the way that it is right now, I don't like. See, the idea of it, the spiffy of it, of the trying to get 9 and 10 in. I think it's there. Um,
yeah,
I just don't like the concept of man. I don't even know how I would word it. Like, let's say you had what 7 and 8, and then you had 9 and 10, but 9 and 10 still get a chance to make the playoffs, even though if they're
mm,
like a couple of games separated from each other. There is a sort of unfairness to some of these playoff teams, which they did like they deserve to be there because they got more wins. Um, there's also the other aspect of like I want to see how this works out for an actual decent season instead of the weird one we have right now because I do understand that it is trial and error and in such a weird year like this,
Mhm.
why
I
not?
don't I don't know if I like it in a regular season, like in a normal 82 game
I you
season.
know,
But like,
I'd be open to it.
there's a lot of stuff about the regular format of like I think the fact that back to backs are a thing at all, like not just this season but at all, I think that's stupid as hell. I understand that you got to fit the 82 game schedule, but okay, then you could lengthen the season a little bit or move it from when do the
Mhm.
bowl games take place? Because usually they don't want to overlap with them.
Wait, which games?
When do the NFL games take place usually?
Well, like probably like in August, September, and February. Like it ends in February. Like literally, there's no competition for the NBA.
Yeah, so why not like extend the season by like 1 month and like
Yeah,
it
but
wouldn't
I mean,
hurt.
yeah, and then you delay it a little bit.
Yeah, like you can still have the 82 game season, but just don't have people playing back to backs. Like there's a lot of
Fair
stuff
enough. Yeah,
I don't like
fair
about
enough. Yeah, I agree
NBA
with it.
scheduling. Um,
I feel like I agree. They should get rid of back to backs in general.
but I think that's a different conversation. I think I'm
Yeah,
getting off topic.
but yeah,
The
like I think though they should keep this long term in the sense again. I get it, it's a different season. I get there's different circumstances to why they added it, but I genuinely believe that like the way that things have been going where like every game is suddenly matters now in the final like 20 games of the season where either teams are tanking or they're not, or they're just coasting. Like as of today, there's only 6 teams that have been formally eliminated from the playoffs. 24 other teams are still like eligible to make it. We haven't seen that in a while, right? So again, so far like there's been more pros than there have been cons when it comes um to the play-in tournament. That's my thing. I'm in full support of it. LeBron's just mad. LeBron's just mad that he might have to play in it, which I for all you Laker fans out there that are watching
Hey
this, like
man, hey listen, listen.
you guys do not need to worry. You guys have freaking LeBron James. You guys are gonna finish like the 5th seed or like the 6th seed. I would
like
not worry. Like
LeBron James, if he actually wants to, LeBron James checked himself out in like the third quarter of the
he
Raptors
did have
game.
a sore he did have a sore ankle. Like that's why he did leave
Yeah,
the game,
sore ankle.
and he's out
Like,
tonight versus the Nuggets.
oh, he's out tonight, versus. Okay,
He is
so
out.
I
He is
feel a
out
little
tonight for the
bad for
Nuggets.
mocking him.
He is out tonight.
Joker is about to score like 50, 10, and 12. But
But yeah, he is out
he's been
tonight.
doing that every night, and I feel like we should maybe move on to some more general talk about the season because some parts of the season have not been terrible, if you can
I
believe
mean,
that.
You just want an excuse to talk about how poorly we played yesterday, despite the
because
fact
he's
that
a
we were.
Raptors fan.
Dude, I gotta take the wins where I can get them, but no,
I
I
hate
honestly I
you.
don't. It doesn't bother me that much. Like
Yeah.
it's a win is a win, but like I LeBron checked himself out of the third quarter. It's not like he actually cared about that game.
Hmm. No, no, I can't. I can. You can. No, I can't. I can't say that. Like, I feel like he generally did. It's just again, he's gotta have to come
Yeah,
back
but he's
from.
like, look, we're down 20 in the third quarter.
But still,
I
though,
might
like,
be hurt. I'm done.
yeah. But at the same time, he is genuinely hurt.
Oh, he is. Yeah, no, for sure. But like, I don't know. Something tells me that's like that wouldn't be an injury in the playoffs.
Yeah. But again, like, I don't know. To be fair, like, the Lakers have been slipping lately. Um,
Damn,
but
Westbrook had 24 assists.
oh Jesus Christ, that's so good.
What the? Oh my God! The final score in that game was 154 to 141.
Yeah, that's what I just said. They don't play.
Tell
They
you.
didn't play defense.
Ooh. Shout
What?
out Shout out to the anonymous gifter who gave Andre Grams 11 a tier 1 sub. Shout out to that.
You're the real
The boner
MVP.
almost had a triple double. That makes me happy.
Whoever gifted Andre Graham's 11 and tier 1 sub, good job.
Yeah.
That's real. Anyway, kind of back to it. Overall, though, I think what's entertaining though is like the last 20, like I said, the last 15 games have been pretty much do or die for a lot of teams, especially in general with the playoff race and the playoff seedings. Um, primarily, uh, you know, a little biased here because my team's in it. The Eastern Conference has been pretty wild throughout 1 through 6. I mean, 1 through 3 is kind of its own tier, but 4, 5, and 6 and 7 have been pretty uptight with the Knicks, Hawks, Heat, and Celtics rounding out that four through 7.
Hey,
That's
hey,
been
hey, guys.
that's been relatively close. What's
Who
up?
thought they would able to be able to say, "Oh yeah, the Knicks have won 10 of their last 11 games"? Who thought they would be able to say that?
Honestly, congratulations to them. I didn't see it coming.
Me neither. And like they are my biggest
I hate the
positive
Knicks.
surprise of the season.
Absolutely hate the Knicks, but
That's
like,
because you're a Nets fan.
yeah, but I give respect to where it's due. Like, they're absolutely, dog shit, and here they are. Um, you know, going to the playoffs. Good for them.
I said at the start of the season, "Oh yeah, going from bad to mediocre is like no, they're genuinely good now."
They're genuinely
Good
good.
for the.
Like,
I'm happy for the Knicks because it's been a long time. It's been what, like 8 years since the
about,
Knicks.
yeah.
You could say we're
And
good.
they look actually competent. Like, I mean, it's a good job for, like, again, it's like the turnaround is great, and like, you hope that they can do it consistently.
Well, the
But
thing about the Knicks is if a team in New York, because it's New York, becomes even kind of okay, like the
everyone's
Nets
gonna
last, yeah,
everyone's gonna pay attention to it.
no,
And now
and
New
more
York basketball is
importantly,
back now.
it becomes a destination for free agents. Like
Don't give Knicks fans hope.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
we
we're
gave
not
them
giving
hope
Knicks
for the
fans
last
hope.
8 years
I,
and
I
nothing happened.
Yeah,
genuinely, I genuinely do think the Knicks have a shot at someone like Carl Anthony Towns or
See,
Bradley
this is
Beal.
so. Here's the thing, and this is what we've been
Knock
revolving
on wood.
around for like the past couple of years. And I don't even mean to derate you. This is for my good friend
Oh, I don't
Dude.
get free agents. I'm a Toronto fan. I just gotta live with
Oh,
it.
that's also fair.
Yeah, our best free agent signing. Our best free agent signing this year was Kem Birch.
oh
Hey, join the
god.
Kem. You need to join the Kem Birch fan. They have like a weird fan cult in the media that's centered around Kem.
Oh, it's
Um,
probably a French
Yeah, look at
Canadian
Zach
one.
Lowe.
yeah, with Zach Lowe, Chris Vernon just joined in.
It's
Hey,
gotta
there's
be.
a
It's
lot.
Has he
gotta be.
really?
It's gotta be like
Has
a
he
French
really
Canadian
joined into that?
Yeah,
focus thing, right?
yeah. Vernon
Oh,
loves Kem, to my knowledge. Yeah.
He's been
huh.
really good ever
Okay,
since
interesting.
coming here. I don't quite understand why, but I'm not gonna question it.
But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that the Knicks are like. It's weird to say that the Knicks are good. Like I was talking about this with my friend when we went over to Yosemite. And I literally asked him like, the Knicks are good, and it's safe to say that. I think, like, I I what type of world am I living in? In this world in 2021, the fact that the New York Knickerbockers are a good basketball team is it's insane. It's unexplainable. Or you can explain it, but
Yeah,
it's just the 180 from being like dead last in the East
Mhm.
to a top four seed that could actually maybe do something in the playoffs.
I
That
will
that's
go
the
so far as
crazy
they
part,
can make
dude.
the second round. They can
That's
make the
a
second round.
that's absolutely the crazy part because the fact that they're literally the 4 seed is like unbelievable.
They're 1.5 games ahead of the Hawks as well. Like they're not. It's not like they're just barely. No, they're in the fourth seed.
D- d- Wow. I mean, and again, like that's the thing. Like, like no one, again, like shout out to the Knicks because no one thought this was like legitimately possible for them to do, right? And here they are, 4 seed, and like you guys said, a possible second round team. But now like what's really gonna could possibly determine if they're pretty legit as a team or not right now is if because they have a pretty hard finish to the end of the season. Is if they can, if they manage to hold on to that 4 seed, again, I give respect to where it's due. The Knicks like can possibly make some noise as a 4 seed in the NBA in the
All
NBA playoffs.
all that being said, they are going to get completely clapped by the Nets, Sixers, or Bucks in a 7-game series. I
Oh
hate
no,
to
Yeah.
say
I
it.
don't think that's.
Yes.
You know what? They're going to be resilient. I think they're going to try to put up a decent fight because I do
I know they
respect.
will put up a fight, but it's not. It's the talent
Oh no, there's a big difference in
Yeah.
talent between the Nets and Sixers and the.
Look,
I mean,
there
no one's not.
Well,
it
because
is
like
possible to like use, a less talented team with good coaching, but like I think, I hate to
not this
be a
time.
homer. I was gonna say I hate to be a homer again. If you want to say, okay, less talented team with good coaching, I think about as far as you can go with that is the 2020 Raptors, basically.
That's about it. But
Like, and
again, that's
which is a good
they actually
team.
had depth though. Like that's the thing.
Well, the Knicks do have depth
And
in this thing. Like the Knicks are a
eh,
very deep team.
yeah, it's
They have
just
D Rose, they have Quickly.
it's just a difference now. Like if you compare this year to last year, is that
There are 3 juggernauts in
there?
the East.
Yes, because if you separate the top three teams from the rest,
And
look like
there's a big difference in
there's
drop
a
off when you go from the
yeah
Bucks to the bottom.
to
Yeah,
like sure you have like your perennial like Miami Heat and Boston Celtics, but like they don't compare to the Sixers, the Nets, or the Bucks.
not even
And
close.
that's good. I feel like as much as it's competitive to see like um to see
It's
how
a competition to be the 4th best team in the East, essentially.
yes,
Which the
because
Knicks
like
are winning right now, which is
yeah,
It's
but
good.
I
You know
wouldn't
what?
count out I
The
wouldn't
Knicks
count out the
being good
Celtics
is
or the
good for
Heat.
basketball. I think that's the.
that's the most
It'll
important
be
thing.
good. It'll be good for the NBA because it's more money.
Yeah. Well, not only
Yeah,
that,
good
it's
for us because I like good basketball.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. And look, I've seen teams underperform. I won't say which teams.
Mhm.
Not gonna call myself out, but
You will call yourself out. So we've seen the Raptors underperform this year.
dude, it's like the season from hell. It's like we got
It's
to
okay, man.
500 and then 8 of our players got
Yeah, so
COVID.
like you guys stunk and then you got good and then you stunk again. Which
Because
I don't
we all got COVID at the same time,
at the
including our
same
coaching
one
It's
staff.
tough.
time.
Including our
It's
coaching
just
staff.
tough.
Hey, here's another
What's
scenario
up?
for you. So right now, as we have it, we
Yes.
have in the first round. If the season were to end today, the Bucks
Yes.
and the Heat
Yes.
would face off each other in the first round. I
Mm.
don't know if I completely trust Milwaukee to pull out a dub against anyone anymore. I think everyone
No. So
It is one thing to be jaded because of Milwaukee's past postseason failure.
yeah, it's
It is another thing to ignore, like on sort of a fundamental level, how much better they are this year.
yeah, and again, like they are the third seed, and their record has been kind of like lesser than compared to Philly and Brooklyn, who we'll talk about in a second. But Drew Holiday changes up everything for Milwaukee.
And it was like that is someone, and look, that is someone who can guard Kyrie. That is
Someone that
plenty of.
can guard Ben Simmons. Like he's literally like
I
he is
say
the
guard.
biggest upgrade to what they had.
Look, they have to pay a lot of money to get him, but
Yeah,
it's
but
look if
it's
they
been
win,
worth it.
if they make the finals even once, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I just I
I
think
just
I think if you're a Milwaukee fan, the concerns for is this a legit playoff team starts in the second round,
Yeah, because
not the
you guys,
first. Because
I
I get it, the Miami Heat did upset Milwaukee last year,
they did.
and
I was I think
a lot of it was a fluke. Was it like I mean, Miami was
I
on
don't
I
like
think it
wouldn't
was a
call it a
fluke. I don't
fluke.
think it was a fluke.
That's too much disrespect to Miami, man.
I
I
mean,
don't think it was a fluke. Because I
in a
remember
sense,
that series wasn't close. That series wasn't even
That
close.
was a smack beating down of great matchups. Bam and Crowder and whoever else was on Giannis doing
Yeah.
their
yeah,
assignment.
but okay, but to be fair though, to like Milwaukee in the bubble played a good
Milwaukee
like
was healthy.
no. Like, let me finish. They like if you would compare like their pre shutdown like statistically wise compared to how they did in the bubble, like everything was a huge drop off compared to where they were.
Well, look,
But it doesn't excuse the fact that they got exposed by Miami, though.
a lot of teams had like completely abnormal performances in the
That's what I'm
bubble that
saying.
aren't.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, the Suns. Oh my
they have
God,
not changed. Yeah, they haven't changed. We'll get to them we'll get to them in a little bit. We'll get in a little bit
the
because
bubble
that's a
never
great
ended,
surprise too.
guys.
But but with I with with Milwaukee this time around, I think it's different because again they brought in Drew Holiday. They they've improved their bench a little bit. And there's Budenholzer, who I still believe will still probably screw over the Bucks in the playoffs, has somewhat adapted a little bit,
Yeah,
Somewhat.
just a teeny
he
bit.
plays his starters 34 minutes now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, teeny bit, but
He might get to
but
38, 36 by the end of the playoffs.
oh gosh,
If he gets there, I mean, yeah, if they get
if he
there.
gets there, like, but again, like the race now, is the first seed in the East, which has been very tight between Philly, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee. Uh, Philly
Mostly Philly and
currently
Brooklyn.
Philly has currently has a lead on Brooklyn by half a game. Milwaukee's close behind by 3. Um, Brooklyn and Milwaukee play again tomorrow on Tuesday after that, phenomenal
Yeah.
playoff atmosphere game
And the
yesterday.
Toronto Raptors are right there,
I hate
16 and a half game tie.
shut up.
And
I hate you. I freaking hate you. I hate you. But
Five
um
five
for I want
consecutive
to put
50 win game seasons, and now we're this.
I want to pose this question to you. Pose this question to you guys. Again, because this is like the main race everyone wants to see in the play in the East. Who do you think ultimately ends up as the 1 seed, and how does this factor into the the playoff picture
Philadelphia,
moving forward?
How close is Harden to getting healthy?
It's either he
we don't
comes
know.
back. He's either he comes back a couple games before the season ends, or we shut him down for the until the playoffs, like
I
round one,
think
game one. That's the latest news out of Brooklyn.
If
It's either he's
Harden comes back before the playoffs start, like if he comes back in the next game or two, then the
he's
Nets
out.
will be the
He's
one
out
seed.
tomorrow. He's
Okay,
out tomorrow.
then in that case, I'm gonna bet on the Sixers.
Yeah, I would too. I just
Yeah,
don't think in
that's what I
any
was thinking too.
scenario, um,
Like,
free. That's a
no,
3-1-8, man. I think that I think this is Phillies to take, and I
that's what
think
I'm
they're
saying.
gonna take it. And I
That's,
don't.
and I'm not trying to disagree because, like, if you look at the schedule for the Sixers compared to the Nets, it is such a cupcake ending to their season, and conveniently, all these teams that the Sixers play are resting their starters. Like
Oh,
tonight,
for sure.
Chicago is resting Zach Levine
Oh
and
yeah, Chicago.
and
By the way, great
Vucevic.
move at the
I know they
deadline,
look so
guys.
bad.
I feel
And then
bad
well,
because it was a good move. It was a good move, and they just didn't
and
work.
they just yeah. And then last night the Spurs sat like their whole starting five against Philly. But
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm not trying to be salty or anything. But then when they have to play Brooklyn, all of a sudden, oh yeah, everyone's suddenly healthy. Like again, I'm not trying to be salty about it. It's just like it's just super annoying. Um, but anyway, I think, and again, it's like as everyone knows, I'm like I'm a Nets fan.
No, really?
I know, right? Who would have thought? But I probably can't agree that barring some sort of like collapse by Philly somehow in these final like 7 games, you know, the Sixers are probably going to end up as the 1 seed and the Nets as the 2.
I
And
gotta say,
I'm okay with that. I honestly am okay with that.
the only thing is you're gonna have to face the Bucks in the second round.
Yeah, the pathway right now is either like the Nets are playing Miami and Boston, Miami or Boston, then have to play Milwaukee in the second round and possibly Philly. Like it's a literal gauntlet. Am I worried? No, not really, because
I
I if like if I was really worried, then I don't think we should be winning the championship.
I will root
You
for the
know,
Nets against Boston and
Yeah, I will too
against
because
no other team.
Boston needs to go down the drain. I think we're all in agreement on that.
yes, fuck
But
Boston.
It's Bostonia
I
Estendum.
it's
Like
funny because I love I love uh
the individual players on that team, I actually really
I
like.
love
I just
Jalen Brown and
in
Jason Tatum. I just hate
collection,
Boston in general.
exactly.
I love seeing Jason Tatum play and I love Jalen Brown. I just hate Boston. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
but going back to it, like again, if the Nets get the second seed, I'm not that worried because we'll have Harden back. We'll be we'll have everybody. And so again, you have Kyrie, Katie, James Harden. You know, that's a lethal ass playoff team right there.
Hmm.
When you add that on top of the depth that we have. So I'm not too. I just look. All I care about is I don't care about the seeding. Obviously, I do want to see us finish at least a 2 seed. Ultimately, I just want everyone to be healthy. Every playoff team, like in general, just to be healthy, so that we can have a fun playoff and finals, and we can be thoroughly enjoyed without having any heartbreak. But I think ultimately, if Philly does get the first seed, they do technically get the path of least resistance to the Eastern Conference Finals, barring any choking.
I still think it'll probably be Sixers Nets, and
Yeah,
I'm not ready to bet against Joel Embiid yet. I'm not ready to bet against Joel. I
I
know that I'm
Okay,
probably
I'm
gonna.
not
I
I'm
know
not
I'm
gonna
have
bet
a,
against
probably.
them.
is
I'm
there any way that the Raptors could slip into the play-in tournament, get the 8th seed, and face off against the Sixers first round? Because honestly,
They are technically 3 games behind, but
here's
the
the
Wizards
thing
are
is
just too hot.
we face the Wizards on Tuesday.
okay, who
You
cares?
know
When
what?
he's, I
We
just want.
probably can't, but if we did, that
Yeah,
would be like we wouldn't win, but Joel
I'm not.
Embiid would average like 15 points
I'm
in
not
that
gonna lie to
series.
you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to see the bizarro world where the Wizards got the 8th seed and have to play the Sixers, and the Wizards somehow upset that.
That would be pretty funny. But like
Anyway, I
the
can't
only
bet
the,
it.
the only guy the only coach like the coach who is like the best proven track record of just ruining Embiid's day is the 11th
Yeah,
seed, and
exactly. That's why
he's not gonna make
because
it. He's not gonna make
Embiid
it into the playoffs.
Embiid went on the low post and explained to Zach how difficult the Raptors' defensive scheme is, and that they are the team that give him the most fits out of every single team in the Eastern Conference and in the NBA.
I just hate other. Yeah, it's just, the Raptors are
He
just
just does
menaces to
not like
society.
playing the Raptors,
The
and
It
Raptors
is
are
that's
just
what I
menaces
want
to
to see.
society. That's what they are.
The Raptors have a heliocentric defense. It's where like if you have like a Joe Harris, for example, is going to light up the Raptors every single game he plays against them. The
Facts.
question is if like, okay, yeah, Kyrie will also probably shoot like 3 for 13, and KD might not get nearly as many shots as he normally do.
Yeah, but we still win anyway.
Well, we're actually
Somehow.
2 for 1 against the Nets this
I
season.
know it's Mickey Mouse wins because every time we play, we're injured, like super duper
That
injured.
first one, I don't think you were injured, but like that was the
That one was rigged.
I don't understand at all what happened there.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know
either
anymore.
let him play or don't let him play. Don't do this
Yeah,
like weird whatever. That's aside
yeah.
the point. I think we
Anyway,
should move to the West.
yeah. Just want to say before we do move on these, I won't. I won't doubt Embiid. I think Don brought it up, like you don't want to doubt Embiid yet. I won't doubt Embiid. Who I will doubt is Ben Simmons because every year, every like Embiid performs in the playoffs. Like, don't get me wrong, he like we've seen it happen, right? Every year,
Unless he's up against Marc Gasol.
yes, pretty much. But guess who disappears in the playoffs for Philly? Ben Simmons. Why? Because he does
That's I
not
think going to
shoot.
be the most interesting
And-
thing, right? Because when the game slows down, your players in the half court tend to often get
Yeah,
exposed, and I think this is going to
Ben
be
Simmons.
telling time
Yeah, Ben
because
Simmons can't do it.
Simmons, well,
He
he's
needs to be
shooting,
transition.
Yeah.
he's in the running for defensive player of the year
He
this
shouldn't win
year.
that either.
Um,
I'm being honest. He shouldn't win that either.
He's not
Sorry.
even the best defender on his own team.
No, no. It's yeah. Like Ben
Embiid
Simmons.
is a better defender than Ben
Yeah.
Simmons.
Like if the Sixers are going to be a second round exit, it's because Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
If the Sixers are going to lose to the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's because of Ben Simmons
No, it's
and the
because of
fact that
James Harden,
yeah.
Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. Like, come on, don't
Sorry,
kid yourself.
sorry. I
You
want to
guys are
be
the
humble. I'm
favorites.
sorry. Sorry, I wanted to be humble. Okay,
he
I'm
was
sorry. I wanted to be
don't give
humble.
him any more excuses to flex. Okay, with the less of that, with the better.
But in like legitimate seriousness though, other than the fact again, like the Nets do have Kyrie, Katie, James Harden, and a buttload of shooting and great role players like Blake Griffin. Like legitimately, like Ben Simmons is going to like hinder the fact of like where of how far Philly goes. Why? Because
I
again, he can't do anything in the half court because if he doesn't start running downhill, he can't do anything.
I will say they do have a lot of good role players this year, like Danny Green and Seth Curry.
Yeah, but
The question is, can they match up against the Nets?
in a 7 game series, like when you constantly watch film, like obviously not. Like they're gonna figure out how to stop. Like Danny Green won't shoot like 50% every game. Neither will Seth Curry. They're not like consistently like that.
True,
Like
true.
if if the Nets and the Sixers were to face off these conference finals, the main concern for Brooklyn would be Joel Embiid.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that
Everyone else matches up well against Philly. It's just how do you stop Joel Embiid?
There's
He
one
probably
person
dropped
in the
40
there's one person in the NBA who can guard Joel Embiid, and
and
it's
it's
Nick
Marcus
Nurse.
All. Oh, yeah, that too.
it's
But
Marcus Gasol.
but my last point again, like the thing is, like if you score like Embiid will probably score 40 and get like 15, 20 rebounds. Will it matter in the end? Probably not because Katie, and James Harden probably scored 30 each. That's how it is. But moving on to the Western Conference, though, where it's
Like
also a
I
dead
gotta
heat.
admit, so I'm enjoying this conference more.
As
As much as
you
it
know,
pains me to say it.
it is genuinely a lot like crazier in the fact that you have two teams that no one thought would be this good, being the first and second seeded. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns, the bright future Suns.
Bright future? What are you talking about? Future?
They earned the nickname from
They're this
Kevin
good now.
O'Connor, and
That's
they're
what
now
I
the
said
bright.
about the Nuggets last year when they came back from the 2-3
But
one.
oh my gosh! But
It's like, oh,
shout
the future. No, they're this good right now, guys.
honestly,
Right
to be
now.
like straight up, um, let you never doubt the CP3 effect ever again. Never
This man is how
doubt
old?
the CP3. He's 35, and look what the hell he's doing with these teams. He took a bum Thunder squad that was supposed to be tanking to the 6 seed playoffs.
He
He
got
took,
the fifth.
They
he
were
took,
one shot away from beating the Rockets.
yes, they like and look what he did with Phoenix. They were literally like the ninth seed, 10th seed,
Chris Paul turned
and
Lou
he took
Dort into
them
OG
into a
Ananobi.
he took he took a Suns team that like was like like almost made it to the playoffs and has now launched them to the first seed. Like he is the ultimate like ceiling raiser. That's the that's the crazy part about it.
He was. I maintain that he was a hamstring away from a championship. Because
Yes,
there
100%.
that year, there's no way that the banged up Cavs are beating the
There,
Rockets.
yes, 100%.
They
And
were losing in the West. They were losing in the finals either way.
tough. It's a tough like the fact that that Rockets team took them to 7 games. They could have
And then went
easily
0 for
won.
27.
Yeah, it's tough, but it is what it is. You can't ever live in the world
Live
of
in the
what ifs.
past.
Yeah. Um.
If we were
So
living in a world of what ifs, I would just be stabbing a photo of Kawhi over and over again.
before we continue on with the West, do want to give a heads up. I believe the Warriors now own the 8th seed. Um, in the Western Conference after they won
Good for them.
the Pelicans. The Pelicans are on the verge of just losing their grip on possibly even making it to the play-in. Right
Oh, they're
now.
almost as bad as we are.
But I believe the Warriors do have the tiebreaker on the Memphis Grizzlies, so they would be the 8th seed. And so if the season were to end today, Portland and the Warriors would play in the 7-8 play-in tournament.
I think
Um,
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the seeding at the bottom of the West is more or less set. And I think the only people who are like, oh, the Pelicans might be able to, are people who really want to market Zion.
yeah, we already
It's
know who's
not
gonna be in the.
happening.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
agree with you,
happening. The
100%.
Spurs are better than the Pelicans.
And they're gonna probably end up being the 10 seed anyway.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, back to it, dude. Shout out to the Jazz and the Suns for being good. To the Suns' point again, CPT's ultimate floor raiser. I give him the respect. Um,
The
I
Jazz have like globetrotter ball movement. It's like
yes, and I mean
it's
they just
hard
need
to
Donovan Mitchell
fathom.
out there though.
Yeah.
To really unlock the potential. However, again, I haven't seen the Suns in the playoffs in since Steve Nash, so we don't know how
Yeah,
this team will
I mean
perform.
that was the last time they actually made the playoffs.
Are you
So
serious?
like, Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
joking.
gonna be the plot
They,
twist is when the
That's the
Suns
plot
and the
twist.
yeah,
Nets get
they
to the
haven't been to the
finals.
playoffs
Oh
since
god, that'd be
2011.
crazy.
I
That'd be
am.
crazy if that actually happened.
Nash is gonna
I'm.
rip off his Nets jersey. And
Ah.
it's
Do
gonna
you
be a
guys
Suns
think
jersey
that
underneath.
Aiden will be an all-star in the future or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely 100%.
He is one of my favorite players. He is like, I
DeAndre
kind of
Ayton. Sorry, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean
he
to cut
like
you off.
he kind of occupies the same space in my brain as Clint Capella, where that
Really?
he's just a
Yeah.
really good like all around center. Doesn't shoot, but like he
Yeah.
does the traditional center stuff so well that he doesn't need to.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton's development is what I hope, like for James Wiseman on the Golden State Warriors development track is going to be. Except that James Wiseman can actually shoot.
James
And that,
Wiseman, I'm hoping we can get for the 7th pick in Chris
shut
Boucher.
up! Oh my god! No,
Why
I'm
do
just
you
kidding.
hate Raptor talk so much?
I don't
Because
know. I just hate the Raptors because of how much of a menace to society they are to
they're
Brooklyn.
just all right.
Look, we're like the Team Rocket. We're not like an actual threat, but we're so
I
annoying.
I also just wanted to see. I did truly did want to see the Warriors complete the three-peat because like everyone knew that
That
KD was in the
wasn't
league.
our fault. That wasn't our fault. Okay. Well, I mean,
I
it was
know.
our fault, but like
Yes, but but anyway, all seriousness though, like
nobody
I
was beating that team with KD healthy. Let's be
I
real.
I all true. All seriousness
It's
though,
not
like
possible.
all seriousness though, like again, we haven't seen the Suns this new age Suns in the playoffs. We know how the Jazz perform in the playoffs, and this is where and this you guys can crucify me for this. I can't foresee either of these teams going past the second round.
I
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
humbly disagree.
Okay, tell me why.
I have seen the shit that, pardon me, I have seen the stuff that Devin Booker can do. I've
Yeah,
seen the stuff that Donovan Mitchell can do. You have to remember how close they were to beating the Nuggets. Although honestly, I
yeah,
think they would have probably lost to the Clippers because I think
yeah.
the Nuggets I want to talk are almost deserve
Oh
their
yeah,
own
well,
episode because they've been such
yeah.
a crazy team this year.
Oh, we can talk about that now. We got all the time in the world.
Oh, for sure. I genuinely do think that they have a chance to make the conference finals. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Nuggets or Clippers though.
This is my So here's my thing, right? As it stands now, right? The three seed. So the playoffs right now, 1 through 6. Um, Phoenix, Utah, Denver, the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Lakers, right?
Can I just say
Yeah,
the Nuggets through everything they have been this year?
yeah. I
I
I
can't
can't
even
doubt 'em.
describe how.
I don't know how they're doing this without Jamal Murray.
I don't know how.
It's insane. They're
That's the
involved. They're
crazy
like
part.
just they're
That is
invulnerable.
shout out to yeah, seriously, shout out to Coach Malone, Nikola
Michael
Jokic,
Porter Jr.
there are.
yes,
Can I
also
just say
Nikola
Michael
Jokic for
Porter Jr.
MVP.
It's it's insane because like I love how Will Barton, I think for that first game, he was like, "Hey, let me, you know what? Jamal has been getting a bunch of the Jokic pick and rolls and having fun with, doing stuff with him. Let me do it." And then he gets injured. Then Michael Porter Jr. is like, "Wait, there's no one here. PJ Dozier isn't going to take my shots. So let me do
Yeah,
my thing."
And
and,
here's
Guy's
the
having
thing:
shooting splits of
and
over.
he's kind of doing like the KD thing where he just pulls up on people that are shorter than him,
people
and
are
it kind of
comparing
works.
him to KD a lot, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like he just pulls up on people that are shorter than him, and it works. Like again, his great development again the fact that he stepped up without Jamal Murray has been great.
But by the
Now,
way, before I forget,
yes,
the one
also
thing, the
Nikola
one
Jokic
issue
MVP.
that for sure, the one issue I have with the Jazz, and I think this kind of ties into it.
Yes,
Rudy Gobert is not going to be able to beat Nikola Jokic.
that's what I'm saying.
Nikola Jokic is going to shred him
That's what I'm
because
saying.
there is one there's one center in the league who I think could get the better of Nikola Jokic, and it's Joel Embiid. And I would
Yeah,
well, first of all, I would love to see
yeah,
those two go at each other in the finals. I don't think it'll happen. I have my
yeah.
kind of in my head final selection.
Hmm.
But Nikola Jokic this year has been I it's there's no words really that you can use
Hmm.
to describe what this dude has been doing. And this is with so much of his team injured, with I think Barton and Murray are both out, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Barton's out with a hamstring, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
they just keep winning. They just keep winning,
like
except against the
like
Warriors.
Campazzo and PJ Dozier are their starting is their starting backcourt.
Yeah, no,
Not Monte
Campazzo.
Morris.
Can you let me just reiterate that Campazzo and
I mean,
Dozier.
he's not like. But to be fair though, with
Campazzo
Campazzo was
is
Campazzo fights though. I love him.
he was a solid
Campazzo
EuroLeague point
is
guard.
Argentine Van Vliet, is what he
Yeah,
is.
he was like a solid EuroLeague point guard before he moved over. So he's not like it's not like he burst onto the scene like, oh my god, who where did they find him?
29-year-old
My
rookie.
point
Like
is
he's
though, like he's not like you give him to a regular casual NBA fan, no one's gonna know. Like
oh yeah, definitely yeah.
They will after
and
this.
in a
I
playoff
guarantee you
setting,
they will after the playoffs.
this team is man. Nikola Jokic is a top 5 NBA player. I don't listen. I don't. What does this guy need to do in order to prove that he's not MVP? He's played every game. He's weathered through every single storm they've had. At in
He's
norm, like
locked it up. There's no way. There's no other way. He's
I
locked it up.
don't see again. The only other player who had the chance to get it was Joel Embiid. He
Joel
got
Embiid,
hurt.
but he got out.
Yeah,
He got
Yeah, he
hurt.
got
that's what I'm
hurt.
saying. Yeah, he's got hurt. And
And
so,
James Harden, I think, was also close. But
yeah,
again,
but
he
he
got
also
hurt.
got hurt.
They also
Here's my
got
thing
hurt.
though. But here's my thing though. That I do want to bring up, and this is going to tie back ultimately to why um I'll talk about the why the Jazz and the Suns I can't see past the second round, barring any sort of like they do prove me wrong. But my concern now with the Nuggets, and I'm not trying to count them out. I need to see them how they do in the playoffs without Jamal Murray. I say
Here's the
this
thing.
because Jamal in the playoffs, right?
Last year, we saw he
Uh,
scored 50.
Well,
Like
not even like just last year, like the year before that
Jamal
too.
Murray had one of the best playoff
Yeah,
performances ever
that's what I'm
last
saying.
year.
Like with Jamal Murray, you know, come playoff time, his scoring ability and the bread and butter that is the Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic pick and roll is absolutely lethal in the playoffs, right?
The thing is, and this is something that I honestly didn't expect. I didn't expect them to have something to replace that, but they do.
Yeah.
And they have in the form of Michael
That's
Porter Jr.
yeah. So that's my thing though. Um, unless this Michael Porter Jr. actually does continue this into the playoffs,
I think he will.
then yeah, like if he does, and I'm not trying to say that he won't. If he does, then yeah, then I can keep Denver in my contenders list 100%.
I
Right?
I I don't. They have they forced their way onto my contenders list
They've
and
been on
to
my
stay
contenders
there.
list. I've been flip flopping on the fact because I need to see how they do without Jamal Murray in the playoffs. Because again, I'm not gonna trust like Campazzo or Will Barton or Monte Morris in a playoff setting. I'll trust Jokic and MPJ. I bring this up because if the season were to end today, guess who they're playing round one? LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, to be fair, the Los Angeles Lakers are kind of in a rut. Dom, you can attest to that.
let me explain our situation. Okay, so
Um,
Yeah,
als-
their controller was
also,
broken and the
so-
sun was in their eyes. And also, Kyle Lowry was cheating somehow.
also, also, heads up, Portland did just lose to the Atlanta Hawks. So,
Really?
so the Lakers are relatively safe
we're
right now.
I want to get you know what is there I want a way to to slowly but surely get into the 5th spot so we can play the Clippers. I say this for two
Okay.
reasons. I say this for two reasons.
All right.
One, so LeBron can shut up about not being safe or being safe from the play-in tournament, and we don't have to deal with the drama there. But
Yeah.
also, we were robbed. You could argue that we were robbed of Lakers Clippers last year.
No, we weren't robbed. We got Lakers Nuggets. One was a great series, and two,
It was a
the
five.
Clippers did
We
not
beat them in
deserve
5
to.
games.
I still thought it was a great series. One of them was
It was
by
a
a
fine
game
series.
winner.
I just don't think it would have been as good as it'll get people rolling. and
The
I don't know.
Clippers didn't deserve it last year. I
We
hate
were,
like they
After,
and I
didn't
think
deserve
we
it.
will win against the Clippers. I legitimately think if we're
yeah,
not in a rut and if we're not as rusty as we are,
The
I mean,
here's the thing about the Clippers is low key they have been a terrifyingly good team.
yeah, that's true.
Like I think people stopped paying attention to them, and in the sort of shadow they have slowly but surely gotten better, and now have the deadliest offense in the NBA.
So yeah, their offensive numbers are actually better than Brooklyn's. That's how
It's
crazy it is.
I think they're as a team shooting like 40% from three,
Yes,
which I didn't think was possible.
yeah. And so, but okay, but here's my thing though with the Lakers though. We know who LeBron and AD are, especially freaking LeBron. Like you can never doubt LeBron, and
It's
that's
health.
why like
It's health, man.
that's see, and it's not the health. Like, again, the health part is obviously a concern. Um, and I I mean we've seen LeBron play hurt before in the playoffs, and it's
we
you know
have he scored.
he's again
Yeah,
yeah like I'm not we can you can't ever hurt or not you can't ever doubt LeBron James, especially in the playoffs. You can never doubt it. And my concern
Unless
though,
against the Raptors.
stop it. He he owns the Raptors in the playoffs, and he knows it.
I had a serious head injury in 2018, and I forgot everything that
Every
happened
year
that
it's
year and
every
every
year.
year prior.
But no, but again, like the thing is though, like you can't ever doubt like, and so that's why I'm saying like if let's if the Nuggets are able to pull it off, it's because of the fact that either like LeBron and AD weren't healthy enough, or um the front court of Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond was is an absolute catastrophe.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll be honest. Gasol, I
it's
know
not
he's
looking
not.
good.
Hmm?
The so far Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis do not work out well.
My view is like I don't under. I get that Gasol's not the same player that he used to be, but he covers so well for so many of Davis's weaknesses and vice versa.
Yeah, they
Like
need
I
to
don't know
give him
why they
some
don't
minutes.
give Gasol more minutes. And
Dom,
like
do you know why?
it's just a weird flux
it
there.
hurt me physically to see him like languishing on the bench like
Yeah,
he was Aaron Baines or something. Like it
yikes.
hurt me to watch. Cause,
Okay,
cause
but like,
I remember him at the parade holding the bottle of rosé wine like it was a tall boy.
but why? So Dom, again, you're a resident Laker fan. Like, why is Gasol not playing?
I, it's partly I think because we're trying out different lineups in
This late into
between
the
what
season?
Vogel wants to do. Like some
I mean,
nights Harold won't play, some nights Gasol won't play.
okay,
I think that
but
we're
like this
trying
late
to
into the season?
Why though?
it's a lot of weird integration. It's been awkward. This has been a really weird team to watch since LeBron was injured for the
Yeah,
past couple months. You have no two stars, so your players are gonna be
How did you
your
beat us
Schroeder.
without LeBron but then lose to us with LeBron? I don't understand
I
that.
think it's just partly because LeBron hasn't played in a decent while, and obviously it's gonna take some time for the rust to get off. Um,
uh,
I honestly want for this is a Lakers team that is healthy. If we don't have a healthy team, if
they're
these
not.
guys aren't healthy,
They're not
I don't
winning.
want any part of it.
I and that's my thing is I don't think the Lakers are going to be healthy for the playoffs, and it hurts me to say that, but I just don't think it's going to
You
happen.
know, they won't be healthy, but they might be healthy just enough. Just because, again, barring
But
if they,
just enough.
like
I'm sorry, just enough is not going to be good enough to beat the Nuggets.
for LeBron, it could be.
I not with the
Again,
way
barring,
Jokic is playing.
I mean, barring anything, we're about 2.5 weeks away from the playoffs.
Yeah.
I again, barring the play-in, I think the Lakers can put up a legitimate fight against. I can't ever doubt LeBron.
I want to get the fifth seed just for one insurance, and we are there. We are there.
You are,
Um,
yeah. Everyone's tied for fifth, minus Portland right now. But
so I'm not really concerned about us getting into the. We have two of the best players on the planet, and I think it's sufficient to say like if they're playing, we'll be fine. I'm not worried
Yeah,
about that. I'm more so worried about come playoff time. Is everyone going to be ready? Is the team going to stay up? Like we still have. I do believe we still have the best defensive rating in the league. That hasn't changed.
I think so. If not
Yeah,
second,
if I'm not mistaken, we still do have the best defensive rating in the league.
if not second, yes, I believe
I
so.
Right.
wasn't laughing at you. I saw the video of Bogdanovich tripping and then getting hit in the head with the pass that was meant for him.
Please send that. Please send that.
It's so
I want to see
good.
that. I want to see that. Please send that over.
It's so
Um.
funny.
Um. Okay, but so finish that down before I kind of move on.
But
Because
yeah, it's I'm not scared of us missing the playoffs. The most important thing right now for the Lakers is for LeBron and Anthony Davis to get to 100% and to play at 100%. Because if we don't, we're not going to get anywhere. And this will be the most intriguing thing about us. It's where we end up and who we face against. Because yeah, you face LeBron in the first. Like no one wants to face LeBron in the first round. I don't
yeah,
care what team you are.
yeah,
When you go on the bench and you say, "Oh, hey guys, we're playing LeBron in a 7 game series," like you
yeah. Like you don't.
you don't shy away from that.
Yeah, you don't want.
Um, and that'll be the most interesting thing again is so like say if we get seventh, we
Yeah.
get in the playoff tournament, get play in the tournament, and then we get seventh, and we have to face the Suns. I don't think the Suns want to play the Lakers in the first
No,
round.
I don't.
They
Nobody
don't.
does. Nobody does.
So, so that's the thing, and so the one that's what I want. That's what I want to I was trying to bring up because again, um, before I move on to the Suns and not wanting to and then, like no one wanting to play the Lakers, I don't think anyone should be like looking forward to playing
No, we
the
did. I don't care on what. Yeah, if you're playing against LeBron James in the first
you
round,
don't
I
want
don't.
no one. Yeah, you should actually fear them.
The West, I'm sorry, the West is like too good for any team to feel confident in where they are,
You
especially
know,
with what happened to the Clippers last year.
yeah, but
Yeah,
my thing is though with the I think I mean the Clippers are kind of on a rut right now, but
They are? I
they
haven't
are
noticed.
they've
Oh,
lost
they just fell to the Nuggets, a
yeah they've
couple
lost
days
three
ago,
straight.
Well, I mean,
and
they do that all the time. Like,
But
what's new?
they also just got Kawhi back, and it's kind of like the integration thing. But um,
they're a weird team. Let me just say they are a weird team.
yeah, but I think they could be a legitimate playoff team. Don't like then, and let me finish with this one because I know the memes are coming. The obvious concern is Paul George, obviously, because we know what happens in the playoffs with Paul George. In a playoff atmosphere game against Denver, he shot 5 for 21. If you're the Clippers, like you can't live with that. However, the difference between last year and this year is that they actually have a legitimate point guard that actually does more things than just try to injure people playing quote unquote defense. Rondo and Reggie Jackson is a pretty solid backcourt, I think, to run with. And kind of like eases the load for Kawhi and Paul George. I think the Clippers roster this year is a whole lot better than they were last year because the pieces actually fit.
It's
And
fun.
that,
Yeah, sorry.
I think that's what I think that's why they're a legitimate playoff team. Um, Obviously Paul George is concerned, but it's probably could be mitigated enough, and that's why like it's a winded way for me to say like that's why it comes second round, whether it's the Lakers, playing Utah in the second round, or the Clippers playing the Suns. Talent, talent wise, like those teams, you know, um, outshine like the Suns and the Jazz, right?
The Clippers are my team to make it out of the West, and I that might piss some people off, especially our resident Lakers fan.
Yeah,
But their
hey,
offense,
a lot of people had it last year. I mean, I wasn't ticked off of them. Um, your
well,
opinion?
last year I actually had the Lakers.
but that's the thing. But that's my thing though, right? Because again, this isn't a knock on Donovan Mitchell. This isn't a knock on CP3 or
It's
Devin
just
Booker, right?
look, I
It's
know
what
what Kawhi can do. I know what Kawhi
yeah,
can
I
do.
know what Kawhi can do. I know what Rondo can do on a playoff team. I know what Serge Ibaka can do on a playoff team.
Woo woo.
I know what LeBron and AD can do, right? Like these teams have literally like have players that know what they've done. Utah, like sure, like they've been in the playoffs, but Rudy Gobert just appears in the playoffs because he literally is unplayable in the playoffs. his style of play does not transfer over. The way the Jazz play basketball does not transfer over.
I disagree a little bit with that second point, but you're right about Gobert. Go on.
Because I mean, okay, we've discussed this in prior episodes, but my thing is again, you can ISO with Donovan Mitchell, you can ISO with anybody else. Um, with Phoenix again, CP3 proven player. Devin Booker is probably going to have his share of great games. After that, I mean they do have Jay Crowder, but after that, like, it's again like
Aiton.
yeah. But if I were to put them against a team that's literally like legitimately has players that know what to do it takes to win, I take that over everything. That's really
I think that I'm not sure how much I buy the whole playoff experience thing. I think if you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad. And I think
yeah.
there are players who disappear in the playoffs. Most players, though, who are good in the regular season, shock of our shocks, are also good in the playoffs.
Yeah, I wish
We
that
gotta remember.
I wish that Paul George can translate season experience
I
to
was
playoff
gonna say
experience.
Paul George is the exception, not the rule, though.
I know that's the most annoying part. He's such a good player, but he deserves like the praise that he deserves. But it's
Well,
so confusing how he disappears.
but here's the thing: there's also players that elevate. Ibaka in the playoffs, amazing, like just
That's what I'm saying.
phenomenal player.
And that's why I like the Clippers. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this is the year I feel like we finally get the Clippers and Lakers in the West Conference Finals, and we'll have a whole playoff breakdown like once before this all goes down.
Yeah,
But
no offense to the Blazers and Mavs, but y'all are like non-entities.
yeah, like
No offense, but like it's not happening.
I don't. The Blazers don't play defense. I think they have the worst defense, like one of
they
the worst
really,
defenses.
yeah, so like it's weird. They have one of the worst. Like they have one of the best offenses, but one of the like the
Yeah,
worst.
they can't stop any, and
They're
that's
like
important in the
they're
playoffs.
like
Well, like the difference
bottom.
between like
They're
another team that does the same thing is that their offense doesn't consistently produce.
Yeah, and like look, I love Norman Powell, but he's not in a role that suits him. Like I don't I I'll be honest with you. I think the reason they got Norman Powell is because they intend to trade CJ in the offseason. I don't see another reason they would try to
Like
get
he just sets
Powell.
the timeline better for the players. But again, we'll talk about when the playoff time comes. Um, Before we do like a huge playoff breakdown episode later on,
Do you want to give it like our early predictions for
early
the
predictions. Early predictions for the conference finals. No finals yet, just conference
No
finals.
conference final. Okay.
Just
conference finals?
yeah. If the season were to end today, who would the final four be?
East is easy. Nets,
Nets, Sixers.
Sixers.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. I'm on board with
Bucks
it.
outside chance, but Nets Sixers realistically.
Yeah, Nets Sixers. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Unless like the seeding were to change, where like the Nets were somehow to get the first seed, then it would be Nets Bucks. But the way
West,
it stands now, it would be Nets Sixers.
um, West. I'm
I'm
gonna go a little crazy. I'm gonna
really
say, I just want to look at the table again, just so I think I'm
oh
getting
my
the
god.
seating right.
He's really trying to go crazy with it.
No, I'm trying to get the seating right. I'm trying to get the seating right because
Okay.
I am gonna go
Well,
crazy
while you
and
do this,
say I'm gonna go crazy and say Nuggets Clippers.
huh? You know what? I wouldn't be mad. I
Nuggets Clippers.
I'm gonna
I'm
go crazy and say Nuggets Clippers.
sticking with the battle of L.A. Lakers Clippers. I'm sticking
That's
with it.
probably more realistic, but I like the Nuggets a lot.
I
It's
like the
like
Nuggets, but I can't ever do it. I can't ever doubt LeBron James after seeing what he's done my whole
I
entire life.
have to doubt LeBron James because of all the
It's
stuff I've
okay.
seen him do. He's given
Yeah,
me
he
post-traumatic
knocked out
stress
your team
disorder
for like 4 years in
3
a
years
row.
in a row.
3 years, whatever. It's okay.
The
It's
first
Dom,
two times were forgivable. 2018 was just the
I don't
worst
know
thing
how.
ever.
Listen, I don't know how many people people in the media had the Raptors pinned up against the Cavaliers. I did not expect a four game
4-0 sweep.
sweep
Yeah,
and a LeBron buzzer beater, where he was just
that
like,
was so
"Let me destroy the city."
Dom,
All right, if I had to make predictions, and
because
I'm gonna go weird with this
Ed
one.
might have to like go alcoholic mode if we keep talking about that series.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. We got the chip. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters. You got the championship, and that's the most important thing. Happy for you guys. No
Yeah.
hard feelings.
And hopefully we get Evan Mobley this offseason.
Oh my god! Ooh, yeah. Again, we'll talk about it in a future episode. But Dom,
We should
All
save
right,
their
if I
draft
had to
episode for the
say,
draft.
yeah,
if I had to say, all right, I'll go for East. And I want to go wild with this one. I don't want to, but I want to.
It's hard to go wild though. Like,
It is hard. Yeah, 76ers and Nets, I think for the Eastern Conference Finals. For the West,
he's gonna go wild.
Suns Lakers. Suns Lakers.
Oh, that'd be actually a really
I would
good one.
have loved to see Chris
I
Paul in the conference finals.
See,
We only
Dom,
got him once in the conference. Like he broke his virginity with James Harden, and now that he's broken his virginity, he can do it again. So I don't.
you know what? I'd love to see CP3 versus LeBron.
Also, like, I just need to say, for all the people who are like, oh yeah, Chris Paul is a legitimate, no, he's not. He's not Jokic. He's not an MVP candidate. I'm sorry, but the only
He
MVP candidate is
have the
Jokic.
numbers. He doesn't have the numbers.
Before we wrap this up, do people legitimately think that?
There's some people who do, but it's like Kendrick Perkins, so who gives a shit?
That makes no sense. I get it. Like like no, like I get it. He's leading the Suns to the
Quite
the
frankly, I don't even know if he's for
but
sure the best player on
he's
that
not even
team.
like no, it's Devin Booker.
Exactly.
Devin Booker is like leading that team. It's not CP3. CP3 is just the floor ceiling
It's
raiser.
not only CP3 at least.
Like it's Devin Booker who's who's kind of doing putting on team on his back on offense.
And I
CP3
will say,
does the part.
look, teams with great on-court leadership tend to overperform. If you look at the 2020 Raptors or the 2020 Heat or
or the
even the 2020 Lakers, I would argue,
2020 Thunder. Like
and the all those teams, strong on-court leadership tends to mean your team overperforms.
but he's
But
not
that
MVP.
can only take you so far.
Guys, if you guys see on our ticker,
Also, the Nuggets have as strong on-court leadership.
I'm just saying, look at our ticker. This is our vote for MVP. Nikola
Oh
Jokic
yeah,
deserves to be MVP.
there is it. Jokic is the only one who does. I don't care, man. This
Yeah,
guy,
no way.
through the ups and downs, this weird season, has been able to show himself as not only the best leader of his unit, but also the best player in the league this year. Every single game.
And I would argue, if it wasn't like a sure thing before, he is now without a doubt the best passing big man of all time.
Oh no, he is. I don't think anyone is arguing with that.
Unless you look, Wilt Chamberlain maybe.
No,
Wilt is the best everything of all time.
Wilt is like his own beast, and well, that deserves
Wilt is an
another
urban legend. Wilt is like I can't.
We don't. So many
I believe
things
half of the urban legends though.
Yeah, some of it was out the camera, some of it's with. We just don't know what's real, what's not. Anyway, again, it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys, Dom and Dan. Thank you guys for joining me today. It's been a while, to see you guys and hear you guys' voices. I know we've all been busy, but it's always great to talk to you guys. Fun, kind of mini announcements again. We're kind of getting back into the swing of things. We're still pretty busy with our real lives, but we are planning to do a playoff episode. Don't worry about it. Big announcement as well. We are starting to do the award show that we did last year. Is making its annual return. So we're starting that process soon. So stay on the lookout. But other than that, it's been good seeing you guys again. Um, we'll see you guys again real soon. Love you all. Dan, Dom, thank you guys for joining. Love it. Love talking basketball with you guys. Everyone, you guys have a great night.
You too.
Go Raptors.